The movie starts with a man named Viktor Navorski, played by Tom Hanks. He arrives at John F. Kennedy International Airport in New York, excited for his first visit to America. He's a simple, polite man with a suitcase and a peanut can in hand. However, as soon as he lands, things take a turn. He's told that a coup d'etat just happened back in his home country, Krakosia. With the country's government now in chaos, the US no longer recognizes his passport. So yeah, welcome to America, Victor. Victor's passport is suddenly useless, and he's stuck in a weird airport limbo. He can't go home, and he can't go into New York either. He's in a no-man's land of international airports, probably with a slight internal panic attack. To top it all off, customs official Frank Dixon, played by Stanley Tucci, informs Victor that he's now a citizen of nowhere, a bureaucracy at its finest. Confused and anxious, Victor tries to grasp the situation. Frank, while stern, tries his best to explain it with food metaphors, telling Victor that his country is like an apple that was tossed out of the fruit bowl. But Victor, despite his very limited English, just can't seem to figure it out. The airport officials confiscate Victor's passport and return ticket, leaving him with nothing but a temporary food voucher and a whole lot of confusion. The whole scene has this almost slapstick vibe to it, with Victor looking around like he's in the middle of a prank show. But it's not funny when you're the one being pranked. Victor ends up living in the airport, using Gate 67, which is under construction, as his unofficial home. He drags some seats together and creates a cozy little sleeping area in a corner. It's like IKEA without the instructions, but Victor makes it work. He might be stranded, but at least he's got some decor skills. The funny part is watching Victor survive in this airport environment. At first, he's scavenging for food like a college student surviving on ramen, mixing up ketchup and crackers like it's a gourmet meal. You really start rooting for him because his resourcefulness is on point. Who needs a five-star restaurant when you've got ketchup packets? Is the real motto here. He eventually figures out that the airport has a luggage cart return system that refunds a quarter per cart. So what does Victor do? He spends his days gathering and returning the carts. You can almost see him thinking, I'm just a man, trying to make my way in this world. After an exhausting montage of cart collecting, Victor proudly steps up to a Burger King counter with a pile of quarters and buys himself a burger. If that's not a win-the-day moment, I don't know what is. Of course, Dixon isn't happy about Victor's mini-hustle, but Victor's creativity knows no bounds. The man's patience and self-sufficiency make you wonder if he could open a school for surviving airport life. Wonder one. But Dixon, being the killjoy that he is, eventually puts a stop to Victor's lucrative cart operation. Meanwhile, Victor is just like, fine, I'll find another way. There's always a way. This is when Victor starts to actually work in the airport. He helps a construction crew with a wall repair, using his skills from home. Seriously, Victor is the jack of all trades you never saw coming. He ends up getting paid for his work. Another small victory. It's like a miniature rags to slightly riches story. No one expected Victor to make a living out of drywall and spackle, but here we are. And by the way, at some point, Victor actually gets the hang of English by reading a travel guidebook. So imagine him in the food court, loudly practicing, where is the nearest subway? Is there a museum near here? The terminal might be full of people, but Victor's really trying to get the hang of it. Amelia Warren, a flight attendant played by Catherine Zeta-Jones, starts crossing paths with Victor. They're both navigating their own complicated worlds. Victor's, of course, involves him being stuck at the airport for months. No pressure there. Amelia is dealing with the roller coaster of an on-again, off-again relationship with a married guy. You'd think Victor and Amelia are total opposites, but they find a surprising connection. They share awkward smiles, random conversations, and little moments that make them both feel seen. It's one of those, is this the beginning of a rom-com? Moments, but also more grounded. They bond over snacks and weird anecdotes. Victor's kindness shines in small ways too. He helps Enrique, a food truck driver, deliver a secret love message to the customs officer Dolores. Enrique, the good old hopeless romantic, can't find the courage to talk to Dolores directly. So naturally, he recruits Viktor, who, without hesitation, becomes the middleman in a love triangle. At one point, Viktor even delivers a love note from Enrique, asking Dolores about her favorite color. It's totally out of left field, but you can't help but cheer for Viktor's willingness to help. He's not just surviving. He's building friendships that keep him going. Meanwhile, Frank Dixon is still obsessed with the fact that Viktor refuses to leave. He can't understand why Viktor won't just go home already. The truth is, Viktor has no desire to leave, not because he loves the airport life, though I'm sure he's grown fond of it by now, but because he's determined to finish a promise to his late father. Viktor's dad was obsessed with the photograph of jazz musicians from a 1958 Harlem concert. For years, he tried to get the signatures of all the musicians in that photo, but he died before getting the last one, Benny Golson, the saxophonist. Viktor, standing in the middle of a literal terminal, has his entire journey mapped out. Get that final autograph. And as you might guess, the moment he gets close to his goal, Dixon gets in the way again. Dixon is determined to stop Viktor's quest because why not ruin a good person's dream? He's the villain here, so of course he acts like one. But Viktor is not the kind of man who gives up easily. After a lot of back and forth, Dixon eventually starts using Viktor's friends as leverage. Gupta, the grumpy janitor, decides to take matters into his own hands. Gupta sacrifices himself by running onto the runway, drawing attention away from Viktor. He's basically saying, I might be old and mopping floors, but I'm a hero now. His stunt gives Viktor just enough time to make a run for it. The airport employees all join forces to help Viktor escape. And you know what? It works. Viktor finally gets his moment. With Dixon being forced to watch helplessly, Viktor walks out of the terminal for the first time since he arrived. In a final twist, Viktor finally catches up with Benny Golson, the jazz legend in a New York jazz club. It's an emotional moment, not just for Viktor, but for anyone who's ever had to fight for something that means a lot. Benny Golson agrees to sign Viktor's photo, completing the collection his father started. Viktor's long, strange journey has come full circle. You can practically hear the crowd chanting, "This is your moment, Viktor." But Viktor, being Viktor, doesn't need applause. He's just grateful. After all the craziness, Viktor does something that would make anyone's heart swell. He finally goes home. He's done what he set out to do. He's a man who was stuck in a terminal, but in the end, he turned that waiting room into something extraordinary. The airport isn't just a place where people pass through. It's where Viktor truly found himself, formed friendships, and honored his father. Maybe next time you're stuck in an airport, you'll think about Viktor and realize sometimes the journey is the destination. The Terminal is a beautiful film about survival, hope, and the importance of human connections. Viktor is a man who was thrown into an impossible situation, but he never gave up. He adapted, made friends, and stayed true to his mission, all while treating everyone around him with kindness. Tom Hanks delivers an incredible performance, showing us how resilience can lead to unexpected triumphs. And Steven Spielberg's direction captures the heart of Viktor's journey in ways that are both comedic and deeply emotional. So if you haven't watched it yet, make sure to check out The Terminal. It's a movie that'll make you laugh, cry, and remind you of the power of hope and human connection. And if you want a full detailed breakdown of the entire movie of The Terminal, click on this video here or in the description.